Hello everyone, this is Benoit and welcome to the demo for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Now, first of all, I have been a long-time fan of the Metal Gear games ever since the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1, and I have felt that they have stuck with this kind of same format throughout the Metal Gear Solid games, certainly the ones with Snake in them at least. They have obviously deviated slightly from it with the Metal Gear Acid games on the PSP as well. I was quite intrigued when I first heard about this, so what I've decided to do is give the demo a quick playthrough and give you my first impressions of it. Now, this game focuses on the story of Raiden. I think it's set 4 years after the events of Metal Gear Solid 2. If you remember, in Metal Gear Solid 2 you play as Raiden after the tanker stage. So this game is now focusing on Raiden, and it's, as I said, it's set 4 years after after Sons of Liberty, and it tells the story of Raiden. As far as I can tell from the demo, it's not giving you too much of the story apart from kind of hints and tips as to who it is that you're fighting against. But judging from the demo, it looks pretty good. The graphics and the visuals are awesome. The gameplay is really good as well. Now the game starts you off with the option of whether you want to play through the tutorial or not, and I would advise that. It is a fairly short tutorial. It's one of the best tutorials I've seen in the game. It doesn't last too long. It gives you plenty of time to figure out what you're doing, and once the game is happy enough that you've learned everything that you need to know, then the tutorial ends. But yeah, basically the tutorial gives you the basic controls for attacks and strong attacks, but it also introduces you to the new mechanic that they've introduced into the game, which is the free blade mode. And by holding left trigger and aiming with the right analog sticks and left analog sticks, you can aim your blade and you can basically chop shit up, and it can be quite cool. You can pretty much chop up any kind of object that you find in the world, in the game, and you can totally fuck shit up, as you can see with this car here that I'm completely demolishing. They do kind of disappear after a while, which is a bit annoying. I don't know what it is about that in games that have disappearing enemies or disappearing objects, but it just sort of takes away some of the I don't know, it takes me out of the game world sometimes, but it's not game breaking, so I wouldn't say don't play this demo or don't play the game just because of that. But yeah, the demo is looking pretty good. I'm really impressed with it. I'm looking forward to playing the full game. You can do a lot of cool shit in it. The one thing that a lot of people are complaining about is the parry mechanic. Now, before I go too much into that, I need to talk about games like Assassin's Creed and more recently the Batman Arkham City, the Arkham Asylum games, and also Sleeping Dogs. Now they use a really fluent fighting mechanic and fighting controls, and it is very well done. The only thing that people complain about in that is the block mechanic is basically a win button. Like, you just hold one button to block, or you wait for somebody to attack and then you press a button and you automatically block it. Now your timing has to be correct, but it's very easy to do it. Now what's different in this game is the parry mechanic is you have to aim your character towards the general direction that the attack's coming from, and there is an indication from your enemies when they will attack, but your timing has to be spot on. And I do like it. It's a lot better than just having the button for blocking the same way you would in Assassin's Creed or Sleeping Dogs, etc., or especially in Batman. It's very easy to pull it off in Batman, whereas in this it's quite difficult, and I didn't even beat the boss in this game because I got so frustrated with it. So I'm not too sure of it yet, but it's a step in the right direction. I just don't think that they've pulled it off. Doing a little bit of research online, there is mixed reviews of it, and it does seem to be one of the bigger talking points of the game. So some issues that I'm finding with the new block or parry mechanic in the game is that it's not always clear what you need to do. Most of the time it does work. I've managed to successfully block properly. The game doesn't make it clear whether you need to use the parry mechanic to then block every subsequent attack after that. So most of the time, it's just one of those things I think you need to get used to. But I think they need to make it a lot more clearer on how to use that. That you need to use the parry mechanic on each subsequent attack, not just the first initial attack, because it's going on what me as a gamer and what most gamers already know, having played Batman, Arkham City and Assassin's Creed and Sleeping Dogs, is that the enemy will attack you once, you press a counter button and you successfully counter, then you can attack. So that is similar in this game. You do see when the enemy is about to attack you so that you can then attack, but it's a lot more difficult. That's not a problem, that's just a bit more of a challenge. The problem that I'm having with it is that the game isn't informing you of how their version of it works exactly. So as I've said, you can successfully you can successfully parry single attacks, but if the enemy tries to come at you with a combo, it's not clear when you need to use a parry mechanic after the first attack, or even during the whole kind of attack sequence of the boss. It's not clear when you need to use it. So apart from that, the game is pretty cool. You can pull off some really cool stuff. You can use stealth elements, but there is this is just a demo obviously, but there are parts in the game where you will be spotted unavoidably. But it does make it clear, your correspondent will, he makes it very clear at the beginning of the game that this isn't a stealth mission, but just obviously keep safe. But you don't need to keep to the shadows. But if you do manage to sneak up on, especially these big bastards here, you can pull off a one-hit stealth attack, sneaking up behind enemies, normal enemies. You can pull off stealth attacks. But when the going gets tough, sometimes it can get a bit frustrating. I just think the game, it is a demo, mind you, but it should make more of an effort to make it clear how the whole thing works. I mean, having played it a couple of times, this is my second playthrough, mainly due to the fact that my graphics card wasn't happy with my capture card for some reason. So I did have a chance to play it, and the first time I played it, I got through to the boss pretty easily, but the second time I played it here, I was having issues when I got up to this bit just before the boss. And even when I got to the boss now, having played it before, I found it harder. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know if there's maybe something that I've missed that I picked up the first time that I wasn't aware of, because when I played the boss the first time I had several life bars, whereas this one, as soon as it went down to 0 I died, whereas before it went down to 0 twice. It was as if I had 3 health bars basically. But first impressions, it looks pretty good. I do hope they address some of the issues with the parry mechanic. I don't have a problem with the parry mechanic. I have a problem with how they, in the demo at least, they're not really putting it into context as much. But as I say, it's mainly because gamers are going to be too used to the parry mechanic from the blocking mechanic from Batman and Assassin's Creed and Sleeping Dogs, etc. And I do see where they're going. It is a lot better, and if you fuck up, it's your fault most of the time. But sometimes you get cheap hits, and it can be frustrating. So I hope they do address that and make it a bit clearer on. I hope there's a tutorial on how to block successfully, properly. Because at least if they're going to have a mechanic like this in the game, I'd hope at least that they give you the information or the tools that you need to use it successfully. But anyway, yeah, coming from a long-time Metal Gear fan, it does look interesting. I love how much they've managed to progress the riding character, and looking from the demo it looks as if we're going to be getting a lot of a backstory on it as well. So looking forward to playing the full game at some point, but this is just my first impressions video. So thanks for watching, and please check the demo out, and thanks for watching.